right. Welcome, everybody, to a late night edition of the BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is your friend, Mr. BDA. I got the one and only King Bucho on the line. Bucho, you there?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm here.
Yes, fantastic. Listen, fellas, this episode, anything goes. We're going to be opening up the phone line, same as Streamyard link. We just had Triple G beating up his mandatory Zaramata. And we are going to be talking about that fight and the implications, what the future holds for him, and of course, for the guy that's fighting tomorrow, that is Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith, both making weight. So, fellas, the number is in the description of the video, as is the StreamYard link, so hop on and let us know what you thought about the fight. Before we continue with the fun, don't forget, fellas, you know the drill. If you get a couple of shekels you can send our way, you can certainly do so via the Super Chat feature, the PayPal page, or the Patreon page. But of course, the most important thing is that you continue to contribute and spread the BDA gospel by hitting that thumbs up button, liking the show, subscribing if you haven't already, and get that show out there, people. There's still a lot of people that don't know about this, so let's get crack-a-lacking. Shout out to Ines Mendoza, Andres Hernandez in the chat, the Quags, Triple JJJ, shout out to Triple JJJ, Wayne Hennessy, Nacion Boxeo, Brian Harkin, Commander Arms, Rob, Joel Upton Park, Chats Ford Galleries, Sir Nickington, Elvis, ECL, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe, shout out to Uncle Burnt Apostrophe, Virtuoso, Mr. E, and many more people to come, I am sure, guys. Thank you for joining us. Well, let's get right down to it here, because, by the way, we got Gonzalo and Stu on the line. Fellas, are you there?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Bit tired, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see you there, Stu. I thought I sent the invite just in case, and I said, "Whoa, I don't think he's gonna come." And then I see you here, and must have been a wild night of partying.
Yeah, well, I just come on to tell you that I didn't watch the fight. I had no interest. Don't know what happened. So I'm just here to listen to you guys. I ain't watching that shit no more. I told you, man. One-sided beatdown. Where did they find that Polish guy from a fucking car wash in England?
Oh, wait a minute. If you're gonna stay up this late over there in England, which right now it must be like 2 a.m, why not watch the fight?
Yeah.
Because I looked on Sky, I didn't see it. I just couldn't be bothered to look for a stream. It was just I knew what was going to happen anyway. I mean, I don't mean to sound a hater, but I told you my standards have got a bit higher these days, and I'm just not interested in one-sided beatdowns.
Well, you know my thoughts on this fight. Bucho, what did you think about the fight? Like, did we glean anything from this Golovkin other than he's not shot?
I mean, not really. I mean, at some point he did like he showed some pretty good head movement, and
That's
Chris
right.
Algieri, who was commentating, was saying, "Oh, see, we're seeing something new." So, in other words, not really. There was
All
nothing really impressive. That Polish guy had a good chin. He had a lot of heart for sure. But getting dropped 5 times and then, by the way, he didn't have any pop. I mean, he threw some punches. He wasn't really throwing them with any sort of conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man.
You don't know what to tell me.
I'm thinking, it's like, what does it show us? Nah.
Well, listen, while you think about it a little bit, Bucho, let's go to Gonzalo. Gonzalo, what did you glean from this fight, if anything? Sorry, man. Sorry.
Man.
I think... All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It was he put in the rounds. 38-year-old Golovkin. I mean, he's the same in the sense that he hits hard. He's got a good chin. But I see him as a fighter that's really beatable, a champion that's really beatable. Because Jonathan Biggs is inculcating for him to do is like to be more rhythmic, to have rhythm. But the rhythm is pretty like... it's readable. He doesn't telegraph, but he does loop his shots, and you can understand what he's throwing. You can understand the rhythm is the shots that are like very like at a pace that an opponent can read easily. So if you can fight and you can take his shots, then you have a chance of beating him. What you see is what you get. You know, he's coming, and he still got that good chin, and you're not gonna make him stop. You might be able to outbox him and land some punches, but he's kind of like that monster, like the Friday the 13th. If he's got you cornered in a room, yeah, you might be able to hit him back, but you're not gonna do much damage unless you're a tough guy. You can hit the dude back, but the dude's not gonna stop coming, and he's gonna get you unless you are world class. I see an elite fighter beating him.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. I mean, it's he did show some improved head movement, but I mean, it's difficult to judge exactly where he's at because you gotta judge him based on who he was fighting, and that was a guy that it's not necessarily. He was far from world class. Let's get to Recognize. Recognize, are you there? Recognize. How come I can't hear Recognize? Can you guys hear him? Oh, all right. I think he's having some issues. You know what? Like I said, open phone lines Friday. Oh, by the way, hold on. Recognize is back. Recognize, are you there?
No, man.
Can you hear me?
What is going on with this shit?
All right. First of all, let's do away with the swearing. That's number one. You know that's a big bozo no. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, just talk and we'll see if I can hear you properly, man.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what's going on. My phone has I'm on my phone. It has new options to. Discord has some new options that I'm not used to. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Triple G. Did we glean anything from this performance?
Triple G lost too many rounds for me in this fight.
Huh. What does that
mean? He knocked him down 5 times.
Right?
5 times. And the guy got back up. Yeah, that's automatic. He loses that round.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I mean, look, I had high standards for him coming into this fight. I said, look, he has to take him out in 3 rounds. Turns out he took him in 7. But I mean, he was clearly hurting this guy for sure. But I mean, was there any? Can we learn anything from a performance like this from Golovkin, where he's fighting a guy that's clearly outmatched?
Look, it still shows that when he's in the ring with guys like that, and this is not a diss towards Cesar Moreta, but he doesn't belong in the ring with Triple G, who's 38 years old, a little past it, but looked great. The shape he was in, he looked phenomenal. He just doesn't belong in the ring with a guy like Triple G, and he's going to make, he would have made quicker work of him if he was in his prime. I agree with that. But still, he's going to chop you up, knock you down. I don't know how many times he knocked him down, 3, 4 times, 5 times. And so, yeah, I don't make much of it. The only thing I see is that Triple G was working on some things that he went away from.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the only takeaway that I can take from this fight is that he started throwing combinations off the jab again. Jab to the body, jab overhand right. That's basically it. That's all I take away from the fight.
Yeah, he was going down to the body a little bit more in this fight, but then that's probably because, like Gonzalo said, nothing was really coming back of note. But I mean, look, yeah, I did like he incorporated a little more head movement in there. That was good to see. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
The thing I don't like about, I mean, it's good that he's going to the body, but he's kind of looping his shots. They're not sudden shots like, let's say, for example, a Regis Prograis. Those shots that you see that you don't see coming. They're just short, sudden shots. You see the shots coming with Triple G.
That's a good point, man. But then again, he's in his late 30s. He's never been that guy, that type of guy that you just mentioned. So I understand why he's not going to look like that, and even less so more than ever now. But look, at least he's not completely shot, because I mean, people were talking about, he's done, blah, blah, blah. Look, he's struggling against Derevchenko, who's a monster of his own in there. So, I mean, at least we know that he can still take these guys out. And, I mean, he barely broke a sweat in there. And like Recognize said, the guy looks strong as hell. I mean, that's why him and Canelo, they're always going to make for entertaining fights. And by the way, let me just say something real quick before we go to the phone lines. I still think Canelo Triple G3 is an entertaining fight, man. I don't see Canelo blowing him out of there like people think. Canelo's a one shot at a time type of guy himself. And I don't see him overwhelming Triple G like Derevchenko did. So that's my opinion on that. And let's hear what other people have to say. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's see if this is working, by the way. 612, you're on the air. 612, can you hear me?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, yeah. First of all, happy Friday. And yeah, it was a decent performance from Triple G, but I think he looked like an old man. I don't know. I think Canelo beats him convincingly. He just looked slow. It's Zarameta didn't have any pop in his shots, and I think uh, I mean this Triple G. I don't see any improvement with Jonathan Banks. I think he should either go back to Abel Sanchez or train with someone like Julio Cesar Chavez to help with his head movement and stuff, because I think Chavez was amazing at that, and they're both pressure fighters. So yeah, I feel that any of the top middleweights can beat him. He looked beatable in this performance.
So you think like if he fights Derevchenko a second time, you think Derevchenko beats him?
Maybe not Derevchenko, but I give Charlo a good shot after that performance. So I think Charlo will use his strength, his length, jab, and I think he has enough to take out at least decision Triple G, because Triple G looked quite slow. He still didn't have that aggressive. Even though he knocked the guy out multiple times, I still feel he could have done more to take him out. But he was
All
just
right.
landing the body punches much later in the fight, and yeah, he looked like an old man.
All right, I gotcha. Let's get the people on the panel here, guys. What do you think? Can all the top middleweights beat Triple G at this point?
No. Hell no.
They have a better shot. They have a better shot now. Yeah, I mean that's not because of this performance, but just because he has slowed down. I mean, look, I don't make much of it, but Triple G was huffing and puffing from putting in work. Right? I don't too much of that, but that's something to look at. That is something to maybe there can be some concerns there. But look, these guys have better shots now with Triple G. That's obvious. Now, I do still think the way he fights, he's training for one guy. I don't know why I keep getting that feeling. He's training to beat one guy, and that's Canelo. And that could hurt him in certain performances. I could be wrong. Like, maybe he's not thinking like that. I'm just focusing on the opponent ahead of me, which is, yeah, I'm sure he has that in mind. But when I see him throw shots, it's like, I feel like he's always preparing himself like he's fighting Canelo.
Yeah, that's a good point. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Nowadays, a lot of the elite fighters I have been noticing, I might be wrong, but a lot of them they're fighting in that counter punching style.
Mm-hmm.
Counter punching, they don't risk a lot, but you need to be a particular guy to be a good counter puncher. You must have speed and good pop on your punches. And these guys that don't risk a lot, especially in these big fights, where they're looking for the win, but if they lose, they want to lose by a little to still remain viable. I see these elite guys beating Triple G like that, where they're not going to risk a lot, but if you got a guy that's long and has got good power like a Charlo, he's going to make it close enough to where he's going to box the slower man by landing them counter punches and possibly hurting them.
Great points, man. Great points. Now, caller, you mentioned that the middleweights would have a shot, like beat him, and I agree more with Recognize. I think they have a better shot at beating him, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to beat him. So I'm going to give you a list real quick here of the top middleweights, and you tell me if you favor these guys over Triple G and by how much. Jaime Munguia.
No.
No. Okay. Liam Williams.
Can't be.
Okay. Liam Williams.
Who?
Liam Williams from England.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Rob Brandt.
Come on.
No way.
No way. No way. Okay.
Rob Brand, no. Rob Brand, Ryota Murata, no ways. I give Andrade, Charlo, and Canelo all good shot to beat Triple G.
All right. That's a good list. And I'm not gonna argue with that. But yeah, I still think Triple G is a mess for everybody. I mean, he still has that power and he still has that jab. But anyway, before we go, caller, anything else you want to say before we move on?
Yeah, just one general question for the panel. Like I'm just
Perfect.
an armchair critic and I've never sparred in my life. But is it a difficult thing to land body shots? I just want to, because I don't see hardly any of these new guys uh, going to the body. So is it in general a difficult thing to go to the body while fighting?
It was pretty easy against my ex-wife.
Oh, now Bucho, now come on, man. Anyway, listen, we're gonna answer that question, but before I do that, I'm gonna have to move on to
Calm
another
down,
call.
Bucho.
I'm gonna have to move on to another caller. But thank you for your call, and we'll catch you on the next one.
you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy. All right. So his question was, I don't know if you guys were able to answer, hear it, but is it hard to land body shots? And if so, why? That was his question. So if you guys want to answer that one.
Not,
Not for elite fighters.
Pretty nicely.
Not for elite fighters.
All right. Hold on. Yeah, because I heard two people talking at the same time. I didn't hear, recognize. You were saying what?
Not for elite boxers. It's not hard for them. Especially when they're fighting a guy who's probably a grade under them. Yeah, it's probably easy for them to land body shots. Not all the time, but yeah, like he presented. I thought Triple G looked sharp, bro. I mean, he was, again, against a guy that's like kind of, beneath him still. The fact that he's 38, 39, and he still can beat guys like Cez Mareta easily, that's pretty impressive for no man.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Now, real quick, shout out to Chris K, who says for FWIW, I don't know what that acronym is, but he says Triple G looked healthier at the weigh-in and in the ring. Yeah, then I will say that he looked healthier in there. I don't know if because he was having a tan or something, or I don't know. Do any of you know if he's still training in Big Bear?
I hope my boy's taking some good shit. That's what I hope he is. Yeah,
right.
Why not?
You know, Canelo was on the phone with his fucking flyer. You know that's true.
Oh, wait a minute. We got Precise and Precise. Let me ask you the question I've been asking everybody, man. Did you glean anything from this performance? And if so, what?
Look, anytime, and no offense to the guy that just called, it's okay, but anytime anybody calls, their assessment of any particular fight is he looked fast or he looked slow. Clearly, they have no idea what they're looking at. Talk about basic. She got a nice ass, so them tits. But for me, I think we're finally seeing results from the marriage Banks and Golovkin. We're finally starting to see the influence, and it's working. I mean, the hand speed looked as good as I've ever seen from Golovkin. He was sharp on the counter. What he was doing a lot that I haven't really, that's not something that he's known for. Pulling back and countering, and you saw a little bit of fast combinations where he's taking something off the punches and sitting on a punch here and there. Not a lot, and mostly in the early rounds, but you definitely see them working on fluidity. The legs are not what they used. His feet are much slower and flatter than what they used. So there's signs of aging, but then there's also new techniques, and the hand speed looked, for Golovkin, it looked really good, the hand. When he was using it, he wasn't using his hand speed, but when he did use it, it looked really sharp.
Yeah, he did look sharp in there, man. That's, look, I'm the ultimate optimist. The guy that he fought certainly wasn't up to snuff. I mean, he was what he was, but at least, that's what I'm saying, at least Golovkin didn't struggle. That would have been bad news. If he would have been struggling with this guy, then we would have some say. By the way, we've got, I'm putting up the new StreamYard link here, because the old one, I think there was something wrong with it, I think. So I'm putting up, and I'm going to change it in the description of the video as well. So the phone numbers there, the phone lines, and the...
Let's get through the phone calls first.
Okay, hold on a second. Give me a minute here, because I'm also trying the plugin that I'm using to try to boost the callers. It's not working either. It's not even doing anything. So, okay, let's try it with this one. 719, you're on the air. 719, what's on your mind?
Man, Triple G looked like shit, man. I don't know what y'all was looking at. He was in the ring with a cab driver, and he couldn't keep this guy down, man. Come on, man. The real elite fighters in this sport, you see what they do. Like, look at Wilder versus Brazil. You put them down, you get them out of there. Easy money. Earl Spence versus Ocampo. You put them down, get them out of there. Easy money.
That's right.
But then you get Triple G with the same level opponent, and this motherfucker keep getting up like The Walking Dead or something, man.
Tyson Fury fought the same level opponent when he fought Wilder, and it took him 7 rounds to beat him.
Look, they say Power the last thing to go. It looked like his power went, man. Retire.
I don't know, brotherhood. Right. I mean, I get your point, but I mean, it's pretty hard to argue. But the guy put him down 5 times. I mean, maybe Seferata or whatever his name was just a tough dude.
That's the point.
Happened,
put him
man.
down
What about
5
that bomb
times. That means he got up 4 times. That's the problem here.
But wait, so he's not
what
supposed
about
to
that
get
bomb that Tyson Fury fought in his last fight?
What you say?
7 rounds to knock out that bum that he fought in his last fight.
He's talking about Fury.
Yeah,
I can't hear what he
February, the last fight he had.
He says
fought a bum.
Yeah, recognize he's saying Fury fought a bum in his last fight, and it took him 7 rounds to get him out of there. So.
So Fury had a rematch with a bum. He needed 18 rounds to get a bum out of there. That says more about Fury than the so-called bum he was fighting.
I agree. I
so
do
nice
think Fury.
Try there, buddy.
I agree, man. No, I agree. I think Fury's overrated. Go ahead, Precise. What do you say?
When Wilder fought a guy with the European style that keeps hands up, he could never knock him down, and he had to referee to stop the fighting. So, obviously, as we all know, styles make fights. Brotherhood is a waste of calories.
Yeah, Brotherhood. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a question.
Versus Derevianchenko, man. That's the type of level that he gonna look bad at from now on. Like, if he fight Ryota Murata, that type of level, Jaime Munguia, get him the fuck out of here, man. I'm telling you.
What about
Munguia will knock Triple G right on his ass.
Hey, what about Charlo?
Charlo? Oh, of course. Which one? Both?
Easy fight.
I think both of them knock Triple G out at this point.
Hey, but I got a question, Brotherhood, because you usually, first of all, you sound a little out of breath. I think have you been doing some late night jogging? And if so, don't get in trouble out there. But number 2, man, every time you call in, it's always to denigrate fighters of a certain skin color. Let's just say that. But it's the season to be jolly. Christmas is just around the corner. So I'm going to ask you to say something positive about Golovkin's performance. Go ahead.
Well, he was in good shape. He made the weight.
You liked how he looked physically, is what you're saying. You dug what you were saying.
I mean, that seemed to be the highlight of this whole fight, that he looked in better shape than usual, which he did, because I ain't never seen him cut up like that. But
highlight of the night, he said, was watching Triple G shirtless. All right.
Gay.
Well, I didn't say anything. I'm just saying.
Boxing, bro. Stop it. This is boxing.
I know it's just boxing, but you seem to be making it about it a little bit more. I don't know, but anyway, listen. The point
he likes Triple G. He's fronting. He likes Triple G.
I think so. Yeah, Brotherhood. Come on, let's be honest, man. I think you're a fan of Triple G a little bit. You find him entertaining, at least.
He fights like Spence. Fights with Jack.
Oh yeah, he one of the most exciting fighters that we've had in the past 10 years. But he just finished. I mean, look at what Pacquiao doing at this age. He looking pretty good versus a Thurman, and Triple G looking pretty bad versus Derevianchenko. So you can tell when age affects the fighter more than others. Like Pacquiao, obviously way greater than Triple G ever was. That's why Triple G looked like dog shit at this age, and Pacquiao still look good.
All right. Well, listen, that's a great assessment. I don't agree with all of it, but I mean, it is an on-point assessment. I got to give you credit for that. And listen, we're going to have to move on, but thank you for calling in. And
thanks for calling in, buddy.
Thank you for calling in, Brotherhood. We're going to give you a chance to regain your breath. Take it easy, man. Thanks for calling. Have a good night. All right, let's go.
BDA, this is my problem with some Golovkin fans. They use age as a reason for him to avoid certain fights, but yet they're quite happy for Pacquiao to go and fight Spence at 40 years old. I mean, come on, man, it can't be one rule for one, another for another. That's my problem. Look, this is another pointless training camp that Golovkin's just wasting. 38 years old.
All right, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Hey, who's
I don't
laughing
know
like
why
that?
Poseidon was laughing. Poseidon, you were happy with the shite. You was happy with that shit, that bum in there. You were happy to see that bum in there getting pasted all over the ring, and I just don't understand it. I mean, you talk about standards, but you must not have any to watch that and enjoy that. I mean, that's a one-sided beat down by a bum. That guy was a fucking bum, honestly, bro.
The thing about Derevianchenko, like the reason why he had so much success with TG is because he was able to break his rhythm with a lot of fighters in the division. I'm just saying, and on top of that, he's a very good.
All right, Precise, you're sounding very low, man. And you were cutting off a little bit. You need to change headphones or something.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, please, man. Because I mean, the last time you weren't sounding that low. But anyway, look, listen. I understand Stu's point, but I mean, you know me. I'm the eternal optimist. I'm trying to look at the good here. But this type of fight. But then again, I just heard the news. I heard Canelo is thinking of fighting Yildirim in February. And so, I mean, it seems like everybody's trying to get in a mismatch in there somewhere. Hold on. Before we continue, let's get to the phone calls real quick, man.
I think the call that's from outside Canada and the US.
I don't know which one that is. But anyway, I'm going to
take the long-ass fucking number.
All right. 447, you're on the air. 447, what's on your mind? 447,
Hello?
can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me? Or what's on your mind?
Hi, yeah, can you hear me? Is that me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Go ahead.
Oh, perfect. Hey. Massive fan of your show, by the way. Just want to say that. I'm from the UK.
Thank you.
I kind of get Stu's point, like, you don't want to keep blasting out bums, but I think just looking at it, what we're expecting when we're seeing this opponent, we're expecting kind of an exhibition of Triple G, right? We haven't seen him for a while. He's now got some time with Jonathan Banks. Yeah, we weren't expecting a massive challenge. What I think personally I wanted to see was what new tricks could he show. So I think he did show a few. I think the head movement was really good. I mean, he's always had pretty slow feet, but there were some good pull counters. Haven't seen that a huge amount before. And Triple G is a slippery fighter. Like, he's not as flashy as Canelo. I mean, there's like one bit where he was doing, some slightly more showy moves. But I think we've seen a lot of improvement. And one final thing I want to say is that Golovkin really gets the business of DAZN. DAZN is about, like, in the interview he's saying we've got to give the guys some enjoyment. I reckon I'm pretty certain he could have wrecked the other fighter in a round, maybe two. So I'm not sure I buy all the criticism that he's not elite. Everyone else sort of wiped him out. I genuinely think he was playing for entertainment. He's playing with his food, and then it's a bit of a shame he didn't get the sort of vicious knockout. But that's good for the other guy's health. So that's kind of my thoughts at the time being.
Fellas, what do you think? Do you think Triple G let this guy go a couple of rounds? I mean, that seems to be some of I've heard that been said before. That, Triple G likes to carry his opponents. I don't know about that. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
that's what he said. He said that. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
No, yeah, he could have like he did. What's the Steve Rose? He could have shifted, and transitioned from going to righty to lefty, and just took him out, cornered him, trapped him against the ropes, and beat him to a pulp. But he didn't. He just decided to implement what Jonathan Banks wanted him to be more rhythmic.
I agree. In this fight, I do believe that he didn't go all crazy on Sarameta. He could have knocked him out like Kell Brook, I believe. He could have.
Remember what Gabriel Rosado said? He said, "Look, it's not so much that Triple G, is a one-punch knockout artist. He breaks you down, but he doesn't. That's a guy who's been in the ring with him and basically got broke down, right? So I think that, maybe he wanted to get some rounds in, but that's who Triple G is. He breaks you down. I mean, the kid never lost a fight. You got to teach him how to lose. You got to make him a quitter, that type of thing."
Well,
he said in the interview.
Well, he said that.
Am I sounding better? Yeah, in the post-fight interview, he said he wanted to give the people a show. Now, whatever, maybe it's not true. But one thing for certain, when Golovkin wants to get you out of there, he just walks through your punch. He gets hit and he walks through your punches. He was minding his defense. He did get touched a little bit, but he really wasn't, like, you could tell he was working on stuff. and not trying to just take punch. He could have taken this. This guy has no KOs. Like he's got like 5 or something. He could have walked right through him if he really wanted to, but he chose to use defense and counter. So he was implementing some new things that he didn't.
You know what? I don't think he necessarily carried him in the sense that he consciously did it. Like, I think he didn't go balls to the walls because I think maybe he did want to work on that defense a little bit. But again, it's like the other guy had no firepower, no world-class hand speed or strength. So, I mean, look, listen, at least Triple G looked good in there. If he would have looked bad in there and struggled with this guy, then we would have a problem. But Caller, let me ask you this, man. Now Canelo is fighting tomorrow against Callum Smith, and he's the favorite. And if he stops Smith and looks impressive, do you still think the Triple G fight is close, or would you heavily favor Canelo over Triple G?
I mean, I think it's always going to be close. I think we all kind of agree that Canelo sort of made the bigger improvement from fight 1 to fight 2. I mean, I'm still going to watch it. I was actually talking to a friend during the fight as to whether it's kind of obvious I'm a massive Triple G fan, but I'll put that on the record. Whether we want to see him sort of finish his career kind of just pasting a load of bums and making some money for the zone, or would we rather see him go in and have a close fight against Canelo, win or lose? I'd rather see him, even if he lost, have a close fight against Canelo. And to be honest, I think it would be close. He's clearly super motivated. The one thing I would say, I'm a bit sort of cynical about this on the business side, but Triple G really has bought into the DAZN sort of business model, which is obviously not pay-per-view. It's having subscription. I'm in the UK, bought DAZN for the first time. It's £2. And it's £2. I'm going to watch this fight. I'm going to watch Cam Smith tomorrow. I'm going to watch Garcia Campbell in January, and then maybe Kovalev or whatever. Like that, it's a good deal. And essentially, what Triple G is doing is like they're building a narrative, and by getting away from the pay-per-view model, if he fights a bum, it's kind of entertaining, and we don't need to think. The issue with boxing, I think, is that I've been thinking, I pay for pay-per-view, and it turns out to be absolute garbage, and then I sort of don't buy another few pay-per-views. With this kind of model, I kind of don't mind watching Triple G batter someone. I mean, to an extent, not completely ridiculous, and I don't think he carried fight this time, but that's kind of, if we all sort of buy into this sort of subscription model, I do think this is kind of what we need for boxing. It's just to get, you need some fan-friendly fights. So I sort of diverted from your question, but in any case, I definitely want to see Triple G against Canelo again, against all the names you mentioned earlier, Cam Smith, Charlo, Andrade maybe, and then I think that's good for the sport, to be honest.
Well, that's a good point, man. I think, listen, definitely DAZN right now that Canelo's a free agent, I think they're surveying their options. And I definitely think the Triple G Canelo fight, that third one, the rubber match, is the one that they have in their mind. And I think they got blue balls from it since 2018. They want that fight to happen. They want it to happen now. By the way, Caller, before we continue, could you just, because we got to move on, but before we let you go, could you just do me a favor and say that you're going to be spending the holiday in your colonies?
Do you say in the colonies?
Yes.
I mean, I'm
all right.
Okay.
Practice it.
I'm in the UK, mate. I'm in the UK. I'm from Hong Kong. I'm from a colony myself.
That's right, but that's why I said it precisely.
Colonized person.
Right, but listen, I want you to work on it because you got the accent down to a T. So I want you to practice that line for the next time you call in, and we'll hash it out here on the air. All right, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. So next time I come in, you know where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the colonies.
Perfect. All right, perfect. Thanks for your call, man. Catch you in the next one. All right, man.
Cheers, guys. See ya. Bye.
Take it easy. Bye. All right. Let's go to another phone call here. 747. You're on the air. 747. What's on your mind?
Can you guys hear me clear?
We hear you crystal clear, my friend. What's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to mention the double standards on Manny Pacquiao and Triple G. But first, I want to correct you on the age. Manny Pacquiao is actually 42 years old, and Gennady Golovkin is 38. So Manny Pacquiao has to fight guys like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, but Triple G gets a free pass to fight bumps.
I don't know about the free pass.
Well
I heard plenty of people.
said, caller. Well said.
Yeah, but
Who
I heard
said that?
50. I heard 50-50. People. Some people were admonishing him for this fight, and other people were saying that he should have the right to face his mandatory. That was a big point of contention on the last episode. So, just real quick, what was your opinion on Triple G tonight and how he looked?
I mean, he looked like he was supposed to look, but he could have done better.
How so?
Could have finished the guy off. He was supposed to.
Yeah, but you gotta give us a little bit more than he should have. He could have finished him off quicker. Like how? Why could he have?
Well, like knock him out.
We got Eddie Futch on the line, by the way, people. All right, listen, I got a question because this is what I'm going with this. Because tomorrow we got. I'm just joshing, by the way. But listen, tomorrow we got Canelo versus Smith. It's gonna be I think it's a good fight, even though a lot of people here are raking me over the coals and saying no, it's not gonna be a good fight in terms of competitiveness. But what do you think? If Canelo wins tomorrow, the Zone, they're probably licking their lips for a rubber match between Triple G and Canelo. Which fight would you prefer to watch? I mean, who would you like to see Canelo in there against? Realistically, let's not go too much to PBC and all that because I don't know if that's gonna work out.
Well, since you said PBC, no PBC, I want to see Charles, but you said no PBC, but...
So do I, man. So do I. But, I mean, realistically, I don't know if they're going to be able to work that out.
I guess Andrade.
And
even though I think he beats Andrade, but I still want to see it.
So you want to see Andrade versus Canelo? That's your dream fight for 2021 for Canelo?
Not my dream fight, but you gave me limits. You said no PBC.
I know. Okay, but I mean, so no Billy Joe Saunders, no Triple G, third fight with Triple G, no light heavyweight campaign. You want to see him in there against Andrade?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Listen, I can see it. Southpaw, Canelo hasn't fought a good southpaw in a long time. So what do you fellas think? I mean, let me ask people in the panel. Who would you like to see Canelo in there against it, like right now? If he beats Smith, by the way.
Golovkin.
All right, that's precisely Golovkin. Gonzalo, you were going to say?
Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant. All right, now, Gonzalo, you're sounding low, man.
Caleb Plant.
You're still sounding low. All right, so, caller. So, okay, caller. Now, let me... Okay,
Caleb Plant!
All right. Lolito. Okay, caller, let's take the...
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Caller, let's say, like I said, okay, forget realistic. Like, you want to see if you could make any fight in boxing for Canelo, it would be Charlo first. Why Charlo?
No, it would be David Benavidez first and then Charlo.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I agree with you on that one. I think Benavidez, even though he hasn't beaten anybody really, on paper, anybody as world class, I still think his style it would be intriguing, to say the least. Anyway, listen, caller, anything else you want to say before we move on?
Well, I wanted to mention something about that Kevin guy from Chicago that keeps calling.
Yeah, what about him?
He's always mentioning about Caleb Plant and all this, that he beats Canelo, like Canelo can't touch him.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think Caleb Plant is as slick as he thinks. This was his last fight against a guy he was getting touched a lot.
All right. Now, first of all, you got to remember, I don't like the use of the words. I'm not even gonna say it, but that word. But I'm just, maybe you didn't know, so I'm just gonna warn you this one time. All right. Don't let me catch you doing that again.
Shame on you.
Well, I didn't say shame on you. No, but you're right. I mean, Caleb Plant. Look, I want to see Caleb Plant in there against. He's going to be facing Caleb Truex next, which Caleb Truex is a guy that's been around the block a few times. But
I mean, fight?
Yeah, he can fight. I'm saying Caleb Plant.
I'm saying, does he still fight? I can't.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're gonna make that fight. They're calling it the fight of the Calebs. It sounds like a biblical fight or something. But anyway, listen, caller, we're gonna move on. Thank you for your call, man. Thank you for your input, and hopefully, I would like to see that Charlo Canelo fight or the Benavidez Charlo fight myself. I think those would be two fantastic fights. So you made the right picks there, my friend. Thank you for your call, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, my friend.
All right.
Take it easy, man.
He sounds
right.
tired, that guy.
Yeah, he sounds.
Oh, that guy was fucking man. Whoa.
Damn.
Imagine me calling into a fucking show in the middle of the night, complain about some shit I saw on TV.
Well, don't you do that all the time here?
Man, I complain the least, man. I just tell the truth, man. Just because
I don't know about that.
just because some people can't handle that shit, that's not my fucking problem.
We're all telling the
But I'm
truth
like
yeah, we're all telling the truth.
I'm
as
the
we
most
see it.
jolly guy on here. You know this.
Oh
Move
yeah,
on,
I can't
move
argue
on.
with that. All right, let's go to the StreamYard here. Remember, guys, StreamYard link is in the description and the phone number as well. The phone number is in the middle portion of the screen as well, so call in.
Just go to the super chat first.
All right, hold on a second. The super chat first. Fuck, who was it, man? I don't even see it. Oh, okay, it's Wesley M. Shout out to Wesley M, who says Triple G fought the worst guy on the card. I think the Mike guy slaps harder than the dude Triple G fought. Who's the Mike guy? Oh, the Mike guy.
Mike guy, the guy who fought
Mike guy. John Ryder.
Yeah. John Ryder, that fight. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I thought Jiri was saying my guy. And I was like,
my guy.
that sounds gay.
That guy was like 190 pounds in that ring. That my guy.
Yeah, but still, big. I mean, you know, when I said something in the Discord, I said John Ryder has a lot of power tonight because he can make or break tomorrow's fight. If he looks sensational, hold on. What I said was that if he looks sensational, he makes Smith look good for tomorrow's fight, and if he looks like crap, he ruins tomorrow's main event. So what did he do, guys? Did he make the main event for tomorrow better or worse?
Sounds like fights.
I could put it this way. I could see why he gave this guy some problems. What's his
Ryder?
Callum Smith.
Oh, Callum Smith. Yeah.
Well, did anybody watch the two fat chicks, by the way?
No. I'm sorry to say it. I skipped that. I'm sorry, man. You know, like, listen, I support women's boxing. They put in the work as well, and you know, they deserve as much. You know, if they put in the work, they deserve to reap the benefits. But I'm sorry that I was watching 3 rounds of that, and I said I gotta set this up. By the way, before
it's like going to a restaurant. You're having a nice meal, and they're trying to promote, like, you know, some shitty fucking old meat, you know what I mean, dish, and they give you an appetizer or they give you a little sample of something, and it's just like fucking disgusting. And it's just not
why was that fight the co-main event?
Exactly, like, they're trying to co-promote bitches boxing. Wait
a minute now.
Nobody wants that shit.
No, but it's true. That's what the UFC did, and they were successful with Ronda Rousey. But come on, I mean, they've tried. Even the UFC, they're done with women's fighting. Like they don't try to promote it as much. You need this sort of like Ronda Rousey phenomena. She only comes once in a generation, so it's not gonna.
And these girls were fat.
Dana White's corny ass, right? Set the UFC back a couple of years with his fucking card, with his females heading these cards when they had no business even being in the arena. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be. There is a few talented UFC girls out there, but you can count them on one hand. I mean, let's be real. I mean, he went to every time I was putting on a show, some 2 girls I've never even heard of are topping the bill ahead of ex-world champion. Dana White's a fucking cornball with his social justice warrior bullshit. Get out of here, man.
Holy shit, Stu! Did you just throw a line of coke? Your mood went from like real sleepy to fucking ecstatic.
Yeah, I hate some of that stuff that you take every night. It's quite good, isn't it, Gonzalo? It makes you talk shit for hours.
Yeah. By the way, in the chat, the Brotherhood says Chris Eubank Jr. stops Triple G. I think at this point he's just throwing every fucking name in the middleweight division and saying all of them can beat Golovkin.
Official scorecard boxing said victim. Real quick, recognize. Official scorecard says victimhood stops my IQ. So I guess everybody's got a weak point. Go ahead, recognize. What do you say?
I think Povetkin at 41 knocks out Deontay Wilder.
Oh, well. And by the way, hold on. Before we continue, we got somebody in the StreamYard here. I think he left. All right. We got a guy named Porky Corner. Porky, are you there?
Porky.
Georgie Porky. Porky, are you there? Can't hear you, man. No, I can't hear you, my friend.
StreamYard? A StreamYard media?
Yes, StreamYard.
Right.
I know you hate StreamYard, but...
Yes, I do. I hate it with a passion.
No, Porky, I hear he's writing something. No, I can't hear you, Porky. You got to turn your...
Did you mute the guy?
No, I didn't mute him. He's...
is the window muted?
Nope.
The tab?
Tab? No. And
Okay.
Speak, Porky. Porky. Speak.
I see he's unmuting himself, but I can't hear him. Can you hear me there, Porky? All right, listen, Porky, worst case scenario, you can call in, man. We got a phone number there in the description. All right?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to... Oh, shit. The fuck did I do? I left the StreamYard. All right, so... okay, so we're talking about Triple G. So I get the feeling that not everybody here wants to see or cares that much about Triple G versus... what's his name? Triple G versus Golovkin. Like, why not?
Triple G
versus Golovkin? Yeah.
No, Triple G versus Canelo.
The ultimate battle.
There can be only one. Yeah.
No, man, listen, I'd rather see Golovkin against Charlo. Or Andrade. Andrade can go to hell, man. This guy is boring.
I'd rather see Canelo versus Charlo.
No, man,
that's what I want to see. I want to see if Canelo.
But you know what it is. You know what it is with Golovkin and Canelo. That fight is going to happen. So if it is to happen, let's just get it out the fucking way before Golovkin is 45 years old. Let's just do it now. And this is the thing with Canelo. If you want to see Canelo in a good fight, you have to put him in the ring with somebody who has clout. Because if the person doesn't have clout, he's going to A-side the shit out of him, drain him on the scales, and it's just going to be a shitty fight. Look at Canelo's fights. The only exciting fights that we've gotten from Canelo as of late is the Triple G fights. Anytime he fights somebody who is a major B-side to him, it's just a flop. It's a shitty fight. They don't even try. They don't come to win. So if you want to see Canelo in good fights, he better fight somebody who got clout. I'm just saying.
All right. Now, before we continue, hold on.
Precise. What we got to do to see Triple G in a good fight? That's the question.
Every fight he's in, besides this one, he's been in a good fight.
Jacob was a very good fight.
Jacob was a good fight. I mean,
this guy couldn't win.
It should have been. No, I know in a good fight. I mean, yeah, it was a competitive fight. I'll give you that, but it shouldn't have been. I mean, let's be real. Look, Charlo made easy work of fucking Derevchenko.
Yeah, after
no, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
So if you put Golovkin with Andrade,
man, I just don't get everything I say. You got a problem with it because I know where it's eating you inside. You guys got no chance against Canelo. Just admit it. He hasn't. He looks slow in there tonight. Apparently, I don't know. I'll judge for another day. But all I'm saying is.
Imagine me getting on a boxing show and making shit personal. Imagine me getting on a boxing show. Imagine me getting on a boxing show and making shit personal because somebody has a different opinion, man. You know, look, this is what I appreciate about the BDA. Let me tell you something. I love getting on the show because it's a life-changing experience. There will be a time pretty soon in my life where I'm going to become a father pretty soon. And being on the show teaches me how to fucking have patience with children. So thank you very much.
Wait a minute, are you calling?
Ad hominem. Why are you always attacking me, Precise? Ad hominem attacks. Get out of here.
All right, by the
I was
way,
gonna say, how about if Golovkin fights Andrade? Can he make that fight exciting? You know
it's up to Andrade.
Like he can't.
I could see Andrade hitting Golovkin. The question is, when Golovkin hits him back, is he going to start running again? He's just going to start running through the whole ring.
Well, that's the thing.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get
that. Make it a boring fight, but then you look at Jacobs against Canelo. Now, why was that fight so shitty? Why didn't we see Jacobs fighting like he did against Golovkin, like throwing
dehydration? Bucho. Jacobs had a rehydration clause. Fucking Rocky Fielding had a dehydration clause. Kovalev had a dehydration clause. That's why.
I thought Eddie Hearn paid for the. I thought for that Jacobs fight, Eddie Hearn paid for him to.
Well, but he did. But look, Jacobs in the rumor was in the Golovkin fight, he was 184 pounds on the night. So that's 24 fucking pounds. Hello? So if they bought him a couple of pounds, that's so he wouldn't fucking die. The guy needed to rehydrate like a good 24 pounds. Just because they gave him 12 or something, that's still not Jacobs at 100%. That's Jacobs who's not completely dead on the scales. That's why we're getting shit fights with Canelo, because of all the dehydration clauses. Like, think about it.
All right, now before we continue, because I opened up the StreamYard here and for some reason it ain't working. So let me see if it works now. All right, first of all, we got D on the StreamYard dropping by, and then we got Porky Corner. Porky Corner got in here first. Porky, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me, man?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fantastic. Yes. What's on your mind?
Merry
Man?
Christmas.
Yes, indeed. Merry Christmas.
I'd just like to say a big shout out to Jim McDonald.
Okay.
Adam Moore.
McDonald's. Shout him out. Shout out, Jim.
Also, I just
shout out to Pizza Hut too.
Sorry?
Go ahead. No, so we're giving shout outs as well. We're taking the opportunity. Go ahead, man.
Like after a fight, after a fight,
yeah, you gotta give a shout out to everybody. Go ahead, Porky. What's on your mind, man?
Sorry,
Porky. Speak.
Hello.
Go ahead, Porky.
Hello.
All right, this Porky. When you get your act together, Porky. When you get your act together, we'll get to you. All right, D. What's on your mind, man? D, are you there?
Hello.
D.
Oh shit! I didn't even know I was still in here. I just came to see if it was working.
Yeah, it's working. Man.
Yeah, all right, that's cool.
Hello.
Right back out.
You just wanted to see if it was working. That's it.
No, because you was having technical difficulties, so I logged in to see what was the problem.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, man.
Shit.
All right, I don't know what it was, and this guy keeps Porky. Can
I'm in
you
the
hear
chat.
me?
I'm in the chat. I'm in the
All
chat.
right, shout out to D, man. Thank you for dropping by. Porky, can you hear me, man?
I've seen better.
Her name is Porky.
Go on, mate.
Go ahead, Porky. I'm gonna have to let you go if you don't speak, man, because I mean you're just rambling here.
Hello. Yeah.
All right, fuck it.
Yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
go ahead, Recognize. What were you gonna say?
I don't know.
No, Recognize. He was gonna say something.
Oh.
I was gonna say goodbye to Porky. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it didn't work out with Porky. Sorry, man, but I mean, it's just he keeps saying hello. What is this? A Verizon commercial? Get the fuck out of here! Listen, I understand the point of contention. Listen, this whole Canelo Triple G thing, it's always going to divide the organization here, and it should. Because both guys, you got Triple G, who's like the Tommy Hearns of boxing. He's the guy that the hardcore boxing fan gravitates towards. Then you got Canelo, who's like the Sugar Ray Leonard, and he's going to alienate a couple of people because he's been perceived as if he's been handed things on a silver platter. So I think, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think the only way we can really solve this is by having them fight a third time.
Yeah, you know what, BDA, and it's like, okay, he's lollygagging a little in between fights, but which fighter hasn't taken tune-ups in between? He's lollygagging. He's old. He's 30. He's older, 38. But which fighter in history hasn't taken tune-ups in between? I mean, he fought Debriachenko and Canelo 2 times in the last 2-3 years. Okay, and if you go back in the last 10 years, he's dropped everybody aside from Canelo. And he had Canelo hurt on that second fight. And in that first fight, Canelo was running for dear life in some of them rounds.
First of all, I'm just going to add a definition. Lollygag, to spend time idly, to loaf, or, oh, geez, what is this? The second definition is to indulge in kisses and caresses, make love neck. Now we're talking about De La Hoya and Canelo, or are we talking about boxing careers here? But listen, yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's one of the expressions I got in the military, BDA. Always quick lollygagging.
I don't want to hear how you found that out, man. Why somebody used that in the military. Don't ask, don't tell. That's the way we do it here at BDA Boxing. But yeah. What do you guys think about what Gonzalo just said? I mean, should Triple G get a pass for fighting this guy who shouldn't have been in the ring when they were with him?
Oh, Triple G never.
There's no like asking whether he should or shouldn't. Like, he earned his right, being the IBF mandatory, and if Golovkin didn't fight him, he got stripped. So this wasn't a tune-up fight. I get what Gonzalo was saying. A tune-up fight is where you cherry pick somebody, where you have choice of opponent, and you cherry pick somebody that suits you, whatever you're trying to tune up for. Golovkin had no pick of opponent. This is who he had to fight. Now, simply because the guy wasn't on his level, what are you going to do about that? Like, I agree with Gonzalo. Everybody fights somebody. Is going to have some fights where guys aren't on their level, especially when you're a pound-for-pound kind of a guy. How many guys can get in the ring with Golovkin and, give a good fight? Not that many. So it is what it is. Tell them to stop running, get in the fucking ring.
Well, you know what, man? To that point is, I hear Canelo says he wants to fight Yildirim. He still wants to fight this guy for some. I think what happened was, he and Yildirim were sparring partners or something. He probably promised him something like, if we don't make it out of boxing alive, take care of my family or something. So this is his way of giving him payday. I don't know if he's really going to fight Yildirim, but if he fights Yildirim, then Triple G and Canelo are on the same pace. They're both taking tune-ups. And, I remember when Chavez used to fight 5 times a year. and he would pick up 2 tune-ups here and there, and then he would. So if Canelo fights Yildirim in February, which is what he
is that a mandatory though? Is it a mandatory or is it a cherry?
Yeah, the OBC, I believe.
I think it's a mandatory.
If it is mandatory, then it is what it is. But Yildirim's not on the level of Sheremeta. Like, people could sit there and talk shit about the guy, but like they've never seen him fight, so I don't understand why they even have an opinion about the guy. But just, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying that
we've seen Yildirim and he got destroyed by Eubank Jr.
Yeah, and Eubank is probably on Sheremeta's level. So like, just so that people know, like this guy, I'm not trying to say he's that good, but like he did beat Kasim Uma, so he can't be a complete bum. He schooled the guy basically.
Hold on, Stu. Sorry.
Who else did he beat? Who was that Polish guy that Jacobs fought in a competitive fight? Anyway, he has amateur. Yeah, he has amateur history with that guy, and he beat him every single time they fought in the amateurs. So, like, the guy's not a bum. Like, in my honest opinion, he's Kavaliauskas level. He's basically on that level. That's how good that guy is.
Sorry to interrupt, I just saw something that I had to stop the show for. Stu, did you time out Reverse Lee?
Who?
Stu, did you time out? Reverse Lee got timed out by Stu. So what the fuck? Reverse Lee never gets timed out. What the fuck happened?
Well, he's fighting Stu. I think people need to calm down.
Oh wait, Reverse was fighting Stu. What's going on? Anyway,
look, I'm not really going to say much tonight, because I knew this show would be quite toxic. And do you know what makes me laugh? Do you know what makes me laugh? Right, that Precise consistently whines about people having digs at him. Yeah, he has digs at everybody. He called me a child because I dare question Triple G. I pray to God that Triple G gets in the ring with Canelo for the third time, because I'm going to enjoy every minute of watching his face get smashed all over the ring. And guess what? I bet you any money Precise will go missing again for 6 months.
Speaking of toxic, okay, so I came on the show to talk boxing. And the first thing...
That's what I mean. Stop changing now. You want to fucking take digs at people, though, don't you?
You want to
come at me and D because we're not fucking in love with your little fucking lovable. No, you can't fucking speak. Guess what? I'm speaking now. Do you know what I mean? I'm sick of you coming on here with condescending fucking ways, speaking to everyone like shit, moaning when anyone... And then attacks everyone. And then moan, the Horniman attacks. Everyone's attacking me. Get out of it. I'm sick of you fucking whining.
Yeah, I don't understand why it has to get personal when it comes.
BDA, recognize Gonzalo and Bucho. Did I attack you?
Me? No. You didn't attack me. No. But listen.
Okay, so
there's a new.
Hold on, brother. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so if I didn't attack you, then I didn't attack anybody. Now, I have yet to say Stu's name, I believe. You can run this show back. So if I'm not even saying your name, Stu, I don't understand how I'm attacking you.
I was speaking and you said you're going to get used to talking to children. That was digging at me. I'm not fucking stupid.
Of course it was.
I'm not one of these little divs that follow you everywhere on YouTube. Like these little... You've got a lot of Klingons.
I got to step in. I gotta step in. I thought we
had to talk. I let you talk. Like, calm the fuck down, bro. Like, stop snorting so much yay and go the fuck up.
Fellas. I thought we hashed this out last episode. Like, we said, oh yeah, we went through the ringer and then we came out, fresh.
So let me. Can I say something, or we can let Stu yammer on a little bit, and then maybe I can say something.
Stop with
can
the
I say something?
Yeah, just stop digging that.
Man, I don't give a. Look, BDA, why are you protecting Stu, bro? Whenever he comes at me, you don't protect me, and I appreciate that because I can handle myself. I don't need to be fucking, protected. So, look, I came on the show to
question BDA. If you can protect yourself, you don't need BDA to protect.
Are you done, or do we
I'm
need
not
to let
protecting.
You talk?
Hold on, people. Yeah, go ahead, Precise. But again, go ahead. But try to keep it neutral, man. Come on.
Neutral. Look, I did not come on here with anything toxic, and the first thing that I remember out of Stu's mouth is talking about Triple G's fans and Precise, like just throwing my name out there and talking about me. Okay, so there's only so much. Can I say
never mentioned you until you attacked me.
So,
a child.
You are a child. You need to grow the fuck up, dude. Seriously.
Yeah. Says the one that cries like a little fucking baby every time someone questions Triple G. Oh, Homerun attacks. Oh, always attacking me. Oh, you're always defending Stu. You sound like a fucking child, bro.
That shit's
Trust
all
me,
in your head,
you
bro.
sound like a child.
That shit's all in your head, Stu. Like, it's totally in your head. Anyway, I'm not really interested in any of that, as I've said many times before, but I'm not going to let Stu just disrespect me like that over and over again. So, you know, you come at me, Stu, I'm going to make you cry. So that's really it. Let's carry on.
Make me cry. Hey, how are you going to make me cry when you spend most of your time crying your fucking self? Get out. You make me cry. All I got to do is say something about Golovkin. Next minute, you're fucking ramming a tampon in because you're bleeding. Get out.
All right. Let's move on.
Well, listen, I'm just letting them go at it.
Let
I think that's the
Gonzalo
only way.
talk. He'll defuse the situation. Gonzalo,
Bucho,
go
can
ahead.
you hear me? Bucho, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Kind of like,
I like how I'm talking, and then Bucho just goes, "Yeah, just let's just go somewhere."
Couldn't hear you, man.
What I'm saying is this: I wanted to let them hash it out because I think that's the only way we're gonna get out of this. Let them hash it out. Otherwise, it's perceived as if I'm protecting one guy or the other. You guys know I love everybody here on this show. I just want you to get along, and if going at each other is the only way that it's gonna get resolved, then hey. You know,
Man, just rewind the show. First thing out of Stu's mouth is, these fucking Golovkin fans. Come on, Stu. Like, if anybody's crying tonight, it's you. So let's just keep it real. Let's not be...
Listen,
Stu, I'm not...
I never once mentioned your name. There's more Golovkin fans around than just you. Listen, you've always had a problem with me because and it's all down to Golovkin, nothing else. Because if Golovkin didn't exist, me and you would be good friends. We'd get on. It's because of that Kazakhstan fraud is why we argue.
Yeah, let's blame Golovkin. No. Let's blame Golovkin. That's a good point.
All right, Mr. Vide, you had your chance to defuse the situation. Didn't work. So I'm gonna take over, man, because I don't know what the fuck. So we have a phone call. Or either you take a phone call, or you let Gonzalo speak.
Oh, you gave me an ultimatum here, Bucho. Now it's
I'm
Bucho
giving you an ultimatum, man.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Let's go with Gonzalo. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
I would just like to point out that I'm not yelling. I'm not calling anybody names. I'm not getting into my fucking feelings.
Precise.
I'm just talking boxing.
Right. Look, listen. I didn't say anything. All right, I didn't say anything about you.
And I'm not talking over Stu. I let him get his shit out. He just yells over me, like completely disrespectful.
Well, listen, both of you fellas are a little out of line today with each other. So let's just put it.
No, I'm not out of line, man. Look. I disagree.
Gonzalo,
the only thing that
Gonzalo was going to say something.
Hold on.
Precise. We got to move on from this. We got to move on from this, Precise. No, you can't. We got to move on from this. I mean, you can say something, but not about this, man. We got to move on from this. Like, this is just way too much, man. Hold on a second. All right, Gonzalo, you were going to say something.
Don't nobody disagree with Stu, all right? Just don't nobody disagree.
All right. Now I can't. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
People disagree with me every time. It's not about disagreement.
There's a new narrative.
What's the new narrative there, Gonzalo?
And it's not just because I hear it from some of you guys. I hear it in other channels that Triple G is not even a top 100 middleweight of all time. And that's really ridiculous, man, because he had one close fight with Canelo, and Canelo is perceived to be great. In a fight between Davidiachenko, okay, that he might have lost. Look at all these middleweights from the past and see their records, who they fought, and how many times they've lost. And this guy, maybe they're taking pops at him because he's 38 years old, and now he's primed for people to say, oh, I want to see him against the top middleweight so he can just get his ass kicked. Well, maybe so. I want to see him go down swinging. You know, but go ahead. Put him in there against Monzon, Carlos Monzon, or freaking Marvelous Hagler. See what happens. I mean, this guy is still a good fighter. That's what I'm saying. And I know controversy sells. People want to say, oh, fucking Triple G sucks. But sometimes telling the truth is much better than sounding controversial.
He dominated Canelo in the first fight, and he schooled him in the second fight. So it's just dishonest. It's just dishonest.
All right, shout out to Virtuoso in the super chat who says Stu versus the Poles is the top bant. All right, I think he means the top banter. Shout out to Virtuoso. Shout out to John Gonzalez who says just don't let Bucho ask inappropriate questions and tell people that they are full of themselves. That's shout out to John Gonzalez for his contribution. Bucho, John going at you again. Now listen. Let me get
I'll
here.
Take care of John later. Don't be worried about that.
You better be careful with John. I mean, you know, he's like a Hannibal Lecter. He's a Mexican Hannibal Lecter. All right, before we continue, let's go to the Streamyard real quick. We got Brian Harkin and we got Russ on the line. Fellas, are you there?
How you doing, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Brian, loud and clear. How about you, Russ? Can you hear us? Yes. Fantastic. Listen, we're having a little disrespectful, conversation here. But I mean, hopefully we can rein it in about Canelo Triple G. My main thing is this: Triple G Canelo. It's about as contentious, I can't even spell the word, so I'm not even gonna try. But it's about as fiery as it gets. So, what do you think? Do any of you want to see Triple G Canelo 3?
Okay, can I go first, or do you want to go first, Russ?
You can go first, Brian.
Okay, no worries. I do, because I think it's the fight Triple G's been training for. I think it's the fight I think he wants, and I think it's the fight he wants to retire with. So, if that's how he wants to go out, you win or lose, draw, get the beat shit there, get the shit beaten out of him, if that's how he wants to go out, that's how he's going to go out. So I think that's the fight he wants. So, a good fight, yes.
Yeah, you agree, man.
Is it a good fight? Yes. Triple G showed a couple good things tonight. I think his punch selection was good. His timing was good. People said he slowed down. I think he had very good timing tonight. But this guy in the ring had nothing coming back at him. So, he's always going to go good against that opponent. Triple G is a come forward destroyer guy. Throw punches, uses jab, good combination punching, good on the inside. He showed decent head movement tonight. But we had to be honest too. At that level of competition he was up against tonight wasn't great. So
yeah,
as much as he showed tonight, we had to be honest. We had to be honest with that's what we expected him to do, and that's what he did. So, that's pretty much it.
It's a good point right there. I think that's a good analysis. Ross, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree with Brian. But one thing I would like to add, I'd just like to say, I think Canelo and Triple G would be... Hello?
All right. Listen, we got to go to the phone lines here real quick. 915, you're on the air. 915, what's on your mind?
Hey, brother. This BDA or Bucho?
This BDA, man. You're supposed to know better. Now, go ahead. What's on your mind, my friend?
Oh, I'm supposed to know better. Damn. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, man. So, I just got to get this out of the way, man, first. So, Precise Presenter is the most pretentious motherfucker I've ever heard in my life. He has some concise fucking arguments and shit like that, but dude, you know what I mean? Just if you would work on your fucking presentation a little more, you would fucking get so many fucking people riding your dick. You know what I mean? But you just throw them off by that awful fucking personality that you have, like Donald Trump.
Hey, is this Steve-O, by the way?
You sound like Steve-O, man.
No, I'm just playing around, dude. I've been listening to this for a long time.
What's your name on the chat?
Triple G and Canelo would just be another fucking stalemate, dude. If they make that fight again, it'll just be another stalemate. Don't you agree?
The fight was good. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, he means stalemate.
Don't get me wrong. It was a fucking amazing fight, but they would stalemate again.
Yeah, he means as in a competitive fight, like that there will always be.
I got what you're saying, but that's the battle. I mean, that's what happens most of the time when you put elite fighters in the same ring. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Precise, the guy you dropped off when the guy said he was kidding. By the way, he was just playing around. So let's not light the fire again. But yeah, I mean, people keep saying after the Triple G Derevchenko fight, they said, Canelo's gonna knock Triple G out. I disagree. I think those two guys are always gonna have problems. Canelo's not a volume puncher like Derevchenko, who threw.
Some people jerk off at the thought. I mean, speaking of toxic.
Of the third fight, or?
No, Canelo knocking him out. Some people jerk off at the thought.
It wouldn't surprise me, man. Wouldn't surprise me.
It's a little disturbing if you really think about it. A little disturbing.
You know what that's called? That's called a Freudian slip.
Freudian. It's called Freudian. Yeah, not Freudian. I'm just correcting you.
It's like whenever a fag is like talking to people, and then he's like, "Oh, I wanted to, yeah."
I'm gonna now, caller. You know what I'm gonna do, caller. I'm gonna have to take that. I'm gonna have to take that bit and chop it up and use it every time you call in, man.
Yeah.
But no, sorry, I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
It's good.
You don't have to be sorry. Anyway, so what else is on your mind before we move on?
No, man, I just I just had to let all that shit out,
Yeah.
Look, he's in the toilet.
That Brotherhood guy
a
few times on here. That shit's crazy, man. Like the fucking the actual arguments that you guys have with him. Like he starts bringing up shit like like that the United States is a very fucking oppressive country and shit. Like, what does that have to do with boxing?
Well, you know how it works. Some people got to bring that baggage into any conversation, whether it's boxing, whether it's football, whether it's talking about carpentry. Carpentry was invented by white people to oppress this people and that people. So that's the way it's always going to work, man. You can't. But you know what? We try here at BD Boxing. We try to give everybody a voice. So speaking of trying to give everybody a voice, we got to move on. We got more phone calls and more people on the chat room. So we'll catch you in the next one, right, man?
All right, man. I'll come back sober next time. Later.
That would work, man. Thank you.
I enjoy your fucking. I'm not
Thank
a
you.
hater.
I know. I got you. All right, we're gonna move on. I got a couple of super chats here to read out, so let's get to them. We get, okay, John Gonzalez just. Oh, he already said that. Okay, we got D contributing. I can't remember the last time he contributed. He says shout out to Stu Little, and he put a flexing arm in there. Well, Stu's not here anymore, D, but I'll relay the message for you, man. Thank you for your contribution. Tin Aravind in the chat room says this guy is drunk. Okay, come on. This guy, I'm telling you, nobody here at video boxing is safe, man. Nobody. I get called a triumpire. Bucho says, people say Bucho's in rehab before the clock hits noon. Precise is this.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
The Brotherhood says the last caller was on crystal meth. I mean, what the fuck?
Well, I don't think Brotherhood's in any position
right
to.
About that.
Oh,
I think Brotherhood might be right about that one.
I know you said that to me because you were taking pops at me. I haven't donated in a while, but I've been kind of broke. Give me about 2 weeks. Is that
okay? He's like, all right. Also, we'll break your fingers. By the way, did you read John? Oh yeah, John Gonzalez. Yeah, we read the super chats.
Hey, real quick, like speaking about oppression and United States and stuff, just so you guys know, and anybody listening, like, don't believe the shit that they tell you on the TV. The whole world did not lock down. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh boy,
like, there's some countries on this planet that never lock down. Like, get out while you still can. That's all I'm gonna say. Get out,
dude. Precise. You got to see the difference between New York and Florida. Florida, everything's just about open. Yeah, they close a little earlier than usual, but everything's open. New York, everything is closed.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
anyway, listen, let's
it really depends where you are in the world. It really, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Speaking of slavery.
No, I got you on that one, man, for sure. John Gonzalez.
I still love New York. Shout out to Queens, man. Shout out to Queens.
I just, John Gonzalez just gave a super chat. He says, I got you covered, Gonzalo. This is from Mr. Lobito. All right. Shout out to John Gonzalez for his contribution. Really appreciate you guys donating.
Come on, people out in Queens, God bless your life.
That's right. Don't forget, fellas, phone numbers right there in the middle portion of your screen. And we got a StreamYard link. I'm going to post it again.
Hey, some people were saying that Callum Smith will probably have a rehydration clause and all that shit. He probably also got a COVID vaccine on top of all of that shit.
Oh, boy.
He's at a huge disadvantage now. You don't want a COVID vaccine, man.
He's going to pass out in there.
Listen, you know what? I beef with Canelo because, look, Canelo's a good fighter. He's very good. I just don't like this nonsense that he pulls. You know what I'm saying? This 4 weeks notice. You can't get higher than this weight, and all this stuff. That's the thing that turns me off. Like, I get that boxing's a business, but in terms of like a straight up fight, I can't respect him totally the way I respect certain guys that don't do that. And we threw Floyd Mayweather under the bus for a lot of that shit, and he's doing it. In my opinion, I think he does it sometimes worse.
Well, I mean,
just look at it. look at it objectively. The guy hit Miguel Cotto, who's been knocked down multiple times, with his money right hand. It did nothing. Couldn't put a dent in Mosley. He couldn't put a dent in Matthew motherfucking Hatton. He's gonna move up to light heavyweight and outdo Sugar Ray Robinson? Really? I'm like, you guys really think? Like, I'm not even talking about fixed fight. Forget all that. Forget all that. You're actually telling me that a guy that cannot knock out top welterweights coming up in weight to 154 that have been knocked out before. Miguel Cotto got hurt by every goddamn body he's fought. Not Canelo. That guy's gonna go up to 175 and knock out a full-fledged light heavyweight, and there's no shenanigans. Come on, man. Like, I've been watching boxing too long to buy this nonsense. Okay.
Well, yeah, there's definitely some PEDs. I mean, you look at Canelo's body; it's transformed. It's like metamorphosis.
But Bucho, like if you're on PEDs, let's say you're not on PEDs. That's assuming that he wasn't on them before, which is a huge assumption. But let's say you're not on PEDs, you get on PEDs. Okay, great. You could finally knock out someone like Miguel Cotto. But a full-fledged light heavyweight, that's like we've never seen anything like that in boxing. Never.
Pacquiao kind of did it in a way. I mean,
no, but Pacquiao grounds you down. Canelo hits you once or twice, and these guys fall. Pacquiao hits you with
the Kovalev knockout, it's a different situation. I mean, he was fading again, as always, or lately. He was fading.
Yeah, but Miguel Cotto was old. Mosley was old. Matthew Hatton wasn't shit.
Those
you know
guys
what
were,
I mean? He couldn't put a dent in any of those guys.
Yeah, but those guys were quicker too. They're different styles as well. Kovalev was almost, he wasn't meeting much resistance from Yard. And by the sixth round, he was almost falling over his own feet. I mean, the guy, there's something wrong with him. There's always a pattern with that guy. By the sixth round, he starts getting tired. And then Canelo, like, listen, I outlined a couple of key points in the last episode, and I showed video, and I didn't cherry pick one. If you actually want to be fair, I cherry picked a whole bunch of clips, and I could have shown more. That Canelo Kovalev thing, do I think that the fight was on the level? 100%? No, maybe there were some shenanigans, especially, like I said, the fact that Kovalev had to struggle to make weight in that fight. That was weird. But, I mean, to say that fight was thrown, I need more evidence than just, well...
No. But that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying, BD.
I know,
Forget all that. What I'm saying is that Dan Raphael reported that there was a dehydration clause the night before the fight. So maybe that's all that was.
Yeah,
that's why he was able to knock out but that's what I'm saying. That's why he was able to knock out a light heavyweight. If there's no dehydration clause, Kovalev outboxes him, maybe. Right?
Yeah,
like
maybe,
he won.
Maybe, yeah. But the power, because we're talking about the power right now, like him managing to take that power with him to weight divisions. Is like that's what we're debating here. Is that even possible?
Three-weight divisions, bro. Three-weight division.
It's unlikely, but it's possible. You know what I mean? He's certainly taking something. That's for sure.
But Butcho, he didn't have that power at 155 or whatever it was, right? Then you got 160, 168, 175, and all of a sudden, three-weight divisions higher up, he's a one-punch knockout artist.
Wait. How old was he?
So you're basing it on the Cotto fight, right? That's your argument.
No. Cotto, Mosley, Matthew Hatton, like he wasn't knocking all good guys. He wasn't knocking them out at 155.
Yeah, but how old was
Lara?
I mean, someone can make the argument that Canelo, when he fought Mosley, how old was the guy, right? They say you reach your physical.
Yeah, listen, you're right. He was young back then, and I agree with. I agree. I know what you're saying. Like being younger, at 22, 23, whatever age he was when he fought those guys, versus 28, 29, whatever age he is right now, it's totally different, right? You grow into your man strength, but.
Right.
What I have a problem with is all these stipulations. Why? Why do you need them?
No, that's not necessary.
Well, you're a good fighter already.
I understand when the A side does that, because even Pacquiao did it. Like I remember, like Morales said he couldn't make 130 anymore, and I remember Freddie Roach said, "No, we Pacquiao can move up, or we have to make it a 130." And it was a lie, because after that, they immediately moved up to 135. So, but that's the A side. That's a power they have, right? Miguel Cotto against Pacquiao, like, moved down 146. Why make 146 not 147? But Canelo's overdoing it. That's obviously a problem here. But, I mean, it's not...
The other one, too, Oscar De La Hoya, moved from 154 to 147. So
No, De La Hoya wanted that.
fought
He
Pacquiao.
thought he could make 147 again. Yeah, that
But
was.
name
So
name
remember,
one guy. Name one guy in the history of boxing. One guy that has average power in one weight division. I don't care how old he is. Moves up 3 weight divisions and then has spectacular power. Name one guy. It's never happened before.
Well, he
Never.
didn't have. Well, hold on. He
The
didn't have
spectacular
he
power
didn't
has
show.
only
He
been
didn't show.
displayed with Kovalev in the special circumstances in that fight.
Ricky,
Because you just mentioned them, right? Like the guy was
Ricky, but what was his name?
Fielding.
Rocky Fielding.
Oh, but that guy, yeah.
He showed great power in that fight. And then you also had what you'll see tomorrow night, man. You'll see the
Jacobs.
fucking.
Well, we'll see.
You'll see
Exactly, that's a good point. Because again, in my opinion, you know, he displayed this great power that we like. It's shocking to us against Kovalev, Rocky Fielding.
And both of those guys had a dehydration clause. Both of those guys had a dehydration clause. So, like, of course, that
So you
plays
got to take that
it.
into you have to factor that in. Then,
But that's what I'm
because-
saying. But that's what I'm saying. You don't have
Okay.
the the point that I'm trying to make is that it makes a huge difference. The dehydration clause makes a tremendous difference. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
so I
then,
can
yeah,
see.
then you got a point.
Yeah, I can see how people would be offended by this whole rehydration clause. But again, I mean, we got to be fair, man. And I've said it before. Look, Pacquiao was the fan favorite for a lot of guys, but he was coming up with his catch weights too. I mean, I know it's not the same thing as a rehydration clause, but the point is these A sites, whether it's Mayweather, Pacquiao, Canelo, Sugar Ray Leonard back in the 80s, they all had their special conditions that handicapped the fighters to a certain degree. So that, unfortunately, that's the nature of the game here. The A side always gets affordables.
And that's true. There's a lot of A side bullshit that's been going on way before Mayweather, Pacquiao, or Canelo. But just like like eventually all those guys fought guys on an even playing field. Everything was even. Like they were
Canelo
fighting
has
guys.
had like 9 catchweight fights. He's already had like 9 catchweight fights. Canelo did. So
Also, we're doing it for sure.
I think the thing that broke the camel's back was the thing with the clambuterol. For such a stoic character to Canelo, for that to have happened to him, a lot of people think he's kind of like his attitude about it is like no, it's not befitting of his character. It'd be interesting to see what De La Hoya, because he's came out with a few statements now that they parted ways. If he has something to say in the later future about
Yeah, that'd
that.
be interesting. Yeah, that
Spill
would
the
certainly.
beans. Yeah.
And by the way, we got definitely interesting. That would be very interesting to hear there, Gonzalo. Good point, man. We got Jimmy on the line. Jimmy, are you there?
What's going on, man? What's
Hey,
happening, guys?
not much, man. Hey, I hear the ATF is
What's up,
trying
Jimmy?
to. I hear the ATF is trying to clamp down on people who have like side bands or something for the forearm and for the handguns or something, and they want to have them registered or confiscated. So I don't know, whatever that is, you better watch out there in good old USA, man.
Well, they can come and get him. They're just gonna have to take it from my cold dead hands.
Oh, wait a minute. No. He's kidding. He's kidding. If anybody's out there, if any spooks hitting.
No, I'm not like that. No, I'm not.
All right. But listen, Jimmy, we're talking about Triple G, Canelo, because, of course, those two guys are always going to be related whenever one gets brought up. But did you see the Triple G fight tonight?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I watched it a little behind, but I saw it. What I don't like, when he's fighting somebody who can't hurt him, he tries to become too perfect with his shots. He was actually stopping halfway through a punch and like setting back on it, and he's almost trying to sometimes recapture the Rubio off the top of the dome thing.
Mm-hmm.
That always kind of makes me cringe a little because, like, god damn, that's so easy to break your hand too. He must have strong fucking wrist and hand because he throws some top of the head punches. But yeah, no, I sometimes it's almost robotic. Like he'll go to throw and he's like leaves himself in these weird positions because he doesn't follow through because he doesn't think the punch is going to be perfect. It's like sometimes I like to see him just wing his hands more.
That's what I said, Jimmy. That's what I said. He loops his punches a little too much. He loops them a little too much.
Yeah, I think
I've said it before.
I
Look,
think a lot of
hey, Stu, you draw a line to me and make it a loop, and let me draw a line to you. My line's gonna get quicker to you as yours gets to mine. This is basic geometry. And I think with the puncher that can punch deceptively to the body, because he did throw more punches to the body, but like I mentioned, Regis Prograis, somebody can sneak those shots in. Hey, like a la Canelo, he can double up 2 punches at one time. If you're gonna throw one, throw 2. That's gonna catch Golovkin.
And he was fighting a kid, I think, too, Gonzalo. I think he was fighting a kid for his for his Polish pride. I think he knew he had all of Poland watching him, and it was a kid fucking just wanted to, And after a while, it was like, all right, stop the fight. This kid doesn't have the power to hurt him.
And that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like,
Jimmy,
why set him up for a complete knockout? All right, I'm sorry. Go to.
No, Jimmy. Just to pick up, piggyback off that point right there is that, I know the kid's not at the level. He's not at that level of a Golovkin. But to me, it's still impressive to see that Golovkin can still break down guys like that, which is a good sign, And every fight is different, right? Like from one fight to the next fight, there's a lot of differences that happens. It could be, you're sick, your training camp wasn't as good, all that shit could happen. But he looked in such good shape.
Physically, he looked great, right?
He brought back a little bit of the old Triple G, not all the way, but the old Triple G, and was doing some things. He was working on some things, and he broke down this kid.
Well, his physique looked great. You can tell he's been definitely training in his off time.
And the guy was in great shape too.
Yeah, you know about bodybuilding, Jimmy. The muscles. The muscles in the shoulder. You have one in the front, one in the middle, and the back. You could see the striations on the front muscle of that shoulder. I was like, God damn!
He's doing upright rows and side flies. Those are excellent for boxers, anyways. Not enough for
But
people
Jimmy,
I don't think
Jimmy, real quick. I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true that he's no longer training in Big Bear. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I haven't heard yet that either. I don't know, but he seemed like he wasn't. I was looking for the gulping. You know what I mean? Like he was the last couple of fights, even after in Derenchenko, in the fourth round, he took 2 big gulps of air. I'd never seen him do that in 4 rounds before, and I was like, wow, man. I'm not a big fan of that. Big bear training.
I saw that.
No,
I saw that too. He reminded me of a guy that when you're bench pressing, let's say you say I'm gonna do 10 sets of 15 reps, and let's say it's at 100, let's say 200 pounds, right? Guy used to do it like pretty much with ease. When he's doing work, I saw him breathing a little bit harder, but then again, he's 38. 38, 39.
No, he is 30. No, he's not good for 38, but I thought his jab. I just want to say this one thing about his jab. How funny is it, though? That kid, that Polish kid, right? He's doing all right in the first, 90 seconds of the fight. He's up on his toes. He's throwing jabs. In the first serious Triple G jab he ate, everything changed. His mannerisms, that goes to show you that kid's jab. You could tell that thing is like a piston. Anyways, Bucho, what's that?
Yeah, why is it that you're not a big fan of Big Bear again?
I don't like all right. The gains you get when you travel up and you train, right? Basically what it's doing is making your body fight for oxygen. So what it does is your red blood cells will carry more oxygen. But the benefits of that, from every expert I've read, it only lasts, it probably peaks 72 hours after you come down off the mountain. But these guys are coming down off the mountain a week, 10 days after they're done training. So it's like, why are you stressing? Then you hear about the nosebleeds, the ear bleeds. Mm-hmm. Even Mickey, when he went up there, he used to get nosebleeds. You wake up in the middle of the night, the pillow stuck to your face. It's it's when you live on sea level, like what G does. I mean, then you go up and train up on that altitude. It's rough on the body. I just don't like it. I don't think you have to tax the body that hard.
I remember Victor Kante saying that if you're going to do that, you should train at altitude and then come down and sleep at sea level, because that's how you allow your body to recuperate, because you get more oxygen and you rest better. So if you're going to, train up there, come down and sleep at sea level, basically. Or have like a chamber that you sleep in that has a different atmosphere.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. And then for an old guy like Triple G, old for a fighter, of course, that he should really mind that. By the way, real quick, because we got new people here on the Discord, not the Discord stream here. We got D and we got Virtuoso, but I wanted to ask Brian Harkin something because he was waiting here for a while too as well. Brian, what did you think about Triple G's head movement? I mean, I know it was against a limited guy, but do you like? Because some people in the chat room were saying they didn't like seeing Triple G moving his head. That's not something that's going to work for him. What do you think? Head movement, yay or nay, from Triple G? All right. Well, we'll get back to Brian later. Then we got Virtuoso in the chat room.
Sorry.
That's okay,
I didn't know I was on mute there.
That's okay.
At the age of 38, I think it's better that he doesn't get hit. So the less he gets hit, the better. So, as they say, the last time goes your punch. as you get older, your punch resistance goes quicker than your punch power.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
You know, even fighting someone with only 5 knockouts, the less you get hit, the better. Always good in boxing. That's always a good strategy for longevity. So
I can't argue with
Triple
that.
G has always had head movement. The commentators just mentioned it, so like now people are talking about it. He's always had head movement. I don't know. They just need to watch his fights. That's all.
I mean, come on, against Canelo, the second fight, and Derevchenko, the Derevchenko
Yeah,
was
but you're
teeing off on it.
dude. Derevchenko had him on the ropes, letting off a combination, and Triple G was like fucking Tyson Fury on the ropes, shooking and jiving. He's always had head movement. But
His head movement used to be more subtle. That's all. But it was subtle, but it was there.
But look, there's two different things you can do. There's a lot more than that. But you could keep your hands up, or you could move your head, and he does either one of the two. Like, so he's not
like
gonna move his head all the time. Sometimes you just put your hands up, and that's it.
I don't like that standing in front of guys and just keeping his hands up. That's a recipe for disaster at his age. And I think I agree with Brian. I think look, if he was practicing that head movement here against this guy, then this was the perfect fight to try it on. But he's gonna have to really work on his reflexes. Virtuoso, you were gonna say? Virtuoso.
No, I was just gonna say that judging by what I saw, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello? Okay, I was just gonna say that from what I saw, I just saw that his training, has kind of grew on him, man, and I'm seeing results. That's what I saw from this Mata fight. I like this punch placement. I thought he was moving his head well. I've seen times where Triple G kind of just just keeps his head in the line, but that's because he kind of baits his opponents to hit him, and he wants to his opponents to open themselves up for counter shots, and that's what I think that what Triple G was trying to go for. I think he's slowly developing into the style. From what I heard him say, it's like I do feel like he's still trying to train for Canelo, because this was basically a sparring session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. I think that the Zone and himself, they still have that Canelo fight in their minds. It's a big money fight, so it would make sense. We're talking about the Triple G fight. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. It was against whatever he was the opponent. But how did you think he looked in there? Did you like some of what you saw in there from Triple G?
I think that he looked great. I mean, I don't even know what all the complaints are about this fight. I was doing blow-by-blow commentary on the fight. He didn't do any. He didn't really do too much wrong enough. And the head movement GGG's had head movement, but he's never shown the ability to beat. That's something that they're working on, clearly. This is not something that he really had in his repertoire. However, I don't really have any complaints with him in that fight. Then I heard somebody say, I think it was Brotherhood earlier.
Oh boy.
Came up here talking about fucking what he's supposed to do, and this person did that in this fight. Man, get out of here with that. He put the fucking dude away. He did, it was a one-sided fight. It's not like Ceremento was fucking winning rounds and beating Triple G up. So what the fuck is he talking about? He didn't do what he's supposed to do. He beat the dude up pretty much every round and stopped him. That's exactly what you're supposed to do to a lower level fighter, and that's exactly what GGG did. So, I mean, here's my thing though. Well, I already think that we talked about, at least me and a lot of other, I thought maybe I talked to a couple of you guys before this Ceremeta fight about GGG and Canelo 3. Now, I believe I even heard somebody go as far as to say, look, GGG's old. It's no need for that. But now after he has an impressive performance against Ceremeta, that fight comes back up again. No, it's the same fucking thing before the Ceremeta fight. It's the same thing. This third fight is just irrelevant. Yeah? And Ceremeta doesn't give him any more chance than he had before fighting Ceremeta. Let's leave Ceremeta on the level he is. Okay, and Canelo, this should really explain it all. The GGG just fought a Ceremeta, whether it's a mandatory or whatever. Okay, Canelo is getting ready to fight Callum Smith. It's these two guys are not even on the same level, Callum Smith and Ceremeta. So, bro, it shouldn't even really be a talk about GGG Canelo 3. TGG is getting older by the minute, and by the time he does step in the ring with Canelo, he's gonna be way too old. Fuck all that sentimental win.
Can I just say, Gonzalo? Can I just say the way I heard it, and this is from the zone, that the rumor is that Canelo was thinking about fighting either what's his name, Billy Joe Saunders or Triple G in May. Now he's saying he wants to fight Yildirim in February and then fight on Cinco de Mayo. So what I was saying was, if he fights Yildirim, which is a pretty bad fight itself, just like Triple G Zedamata, but at least if he's saying, look, I'm going to fight in February just to get some rust off and then fight a couple of months, just 2-3 months later against a world-class opponent, hey, I'm all for it, man. These guys got their little tune-up out of the way. Now let's see them fight. I'm not all that high either on the Triple G Canelo fight. It's not my go-to fight, but if they fight again, I wouldn't mind seeing it. And I even said this after the Derevyanchenko fight, the Triple G Derevyanchenko fight. I said, look, I don't care how vulnerable Triple G looked in there. You look at Derevyanchenko's face and look at how Canelo fights. It's not the same style that Derevyanchenko. It's
Canelo ducked Derevyanchenko. Canelo ducked that.
Yeah, but just real quick. I think Canelo Triple G3 is still a competitive fight. Do I give Canelo the edge a little bit? Sure, he's looked better and he's still young, and whereas Triple G is getting older, but it's still a sensational fight. But my thing is, I would rather see Canelo in there against a fresh name rather than the same merry-go-round. But hold on, before we continue, Gonzalo wanted to say something. Gonzalo, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think that Triple G is the same guy he has always been, but that's not a knock on Triple G. Triple G, he's a good boxer ever since he was in the amateurs. He had a winning streak with Abel Sanchez, and just because he had 2 close fights doesn't mean he's deteriorating, that he has to modify something in the style. I know he got a trainer and he's going to do that a little bit, but that he has to modify something because something was broke. Mm-hmm. No, it's just Father Time has caught up with him, that he's lost a little speed. But he's born with 2 things that you can't buy, and that's punching power and a great chin. So as far as developing into something else, no, he's always been that guy. But with that being said, like I said, he's always going to be that threat, and that's why fighters ducked him throughout all these years. He still got a title. I want to see them fight him.
It's a good point.
Can I just say something that might be off topic a little bit, but we're talking about Golovkin's head movement and all that shit, and how in previous fights, he fought with a high guard and taking punches. That Golovkin, the reason why he fought like, in my opinion, I'm not sure, but I think it's because he was trying to put on a big drama show. He
high guard, you read my mind. That's what you should do. Look, he's got that ramrod jab. He kind of depends on having that style upright to push that jab, I think, forward, maybe.
Right, and when he was fighting like that, because he knew he needed to get these guys out of there, and he knew also the risk that he was taking. There were no risk. I mean, when he fought Dominic Wade or Monroe, he knew he could take the punches, and then he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go and try to get them out." But at this point in his career, he's not at that stage, and everybody knows who Golovkin is. He's not trying to impress anybody. He's in there just to get that Canelo fight, another big fight, and then retire. So I don't expect this Golovkin to show up again, in my opinion. This crazy ass Golovkin. Go ahead.
That would go to Brian's point.
They're gonna. Mucho, with that understanding, right? That he was just coming in there to kind of, put in some rounds, put on a show, this, that, and the third, right? With that understanding, right? And we saying that he could have gotten him out there earlier if he wanted to, but he was just trying to, put on a show and then put him away. With that understanding,
no.
What was that?
No, I didn't say that. No, sorry. For this fight against the Polish guy, he wanted to get some rounds in. He knows that Canelo fight's coming up, and he's using this as a training thing, type of thing. So he didn't want to get him out of there quickly, in my opinion. I think he could have.
I just want to clarify. He thinks that Canelo fight's coming. He's not sure, because again, Canelo could say fuck you and pick Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, but you still prepare as if the Canelo fight's coming up.
Yeah. But I just wanted to clarify that.
He did give him a chance the first time, and he needed a tune-up. Oh,
yeah, they're fighting. Triple G just fought tonight. Tomorrow is Canelo. Man, they want that fight. They're gonna try to push for that fight. So it better happen right now than when Golovkin's 42 years old. That's just ridiculous. It's just gonna. They want the fight. They're gonna make the fight better now than later. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And of course, I favor Canelo because the first fight he got dominated. The second fight he got schooled, but it was much closer. So now you got to favor Canelo. So it's one of them things.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it would behoove. It would
No,
behoove Triple G
that was
to get
that.
up
Yeah, Gonzalo. Hold
before
on
he
for a
gets
second.
sold.
Hold on.
Nobody
Gonzalo, go ahead.
got schooled
Hold
in the
on.
second fight.
Hold on.
Nobody,
Gonzalo, go ahead, man. Hold
nobody
on.
got schooled in
Gonzalo
the
was
second.
gonna.
Yeah.
Hold on. Gonzalo was gonna speak, man. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
He should in the best interest of him becoming older, and in this boxing game, it's a young man's game. It's in best interest. It's better that he take that fight sooner rather than later. I agree with Precise because he has to get a good camp, similar like to Pacquiao and Thurman, a camp of your lifetime, and have this fight before you get older.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, Precise, did you say Canelo schooled Triple G in the second fight?
No, Triple G
Negative.
schooled Canelo.
Triple G
I
schooled
changed
Canelo.
my mind about I changed my mind about that fight. Lara schooled him. I just been changing my mind about Canelo, man. I think I've been too nice to the guy. So I'm just trolling.
I
GD.
think
I'm
you've
just
been
trolling.
too
I'm
harsh
just
on the
trolling.
guy. I know you are.
Yeah, it's got to be a troll because neither of those guys got schooled in that second fight. Neither.
Well, I'll
of
tell
them.
They
you
were two
what.
close fights, man.
Yeah, nobody
Well,
got
actually,
schooled.
I'll tell you what. I
The
was
first fight
rewatching
wasn't close. The first fight was competitive, but not close. 9-3 for me.
I want to talk about the second fight. Actually, I don't want to talk. I just want to mention something, and then I want to move on from the fucking second fight because I know where this is going. But the point is, the second fight, I rewatched it, and the first time I had watched it, I remember thinking, all right, it could have gone either way. Subsequently, I was rewatching it for the preparation for this fight. Triple G, if they fight a third time, I think Canelo should not stop coming forward because I know they said his corner told him in the second fight at some point later on, they said, listen, stop trying to, you're not going to stop this guy. And he sort of like took the pedal, took the foot off the gas. But because Triple G, if they get in a distance fight, Triple G was landing that heavy jab on him. And that jab's still there, man. It might be a tad slower, but it's still there. And that's why I'm telling you guys, this fight, Triple G, Canelo fight, if they get in there, they're both going to go out of there hurting a little bit, if you know what I mean. So it's not an easy fight for both guys. So if Canelo wants to avoid getting a fight where he's going to really have to take bumps, maybe he should just take on Billy Joe Saunders. Although, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, didn't it seem like Billy Joe Saunders pulled a Demetrius Andrade in his last fight and tried to start off strong, landing shots that seemed harder than usual, and then all of a sudden he like petered out a little bit?
Yeah, Triple G gets stopped not stopped, dropped in this next fight. He get dropped by the body. I'm not saying that Canelo stops him, but he'll drop his ass. Body shot.
Anybody else?
Joe Saunders at 68 ain't the same. He looks like
It could be Marquez Pacquiao 4, where Canelo's like whooping and then he walks into something. I mean,
listen, that's why
for Sue's sake, I hope not, but Pac.
He's trying to prep for like a counter shot.
Second fight.
No.
Hold on, there's a delay here. There's a delay between StreamYard and go ahead, Recognize. Go ahead, and we'll get to Ritual. So go ahead, Recognize.
No, that's what I agree with most people that Canelo probably beats him in the third fight. He should be the favorite, 100%. Be the favorite, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won. But I'm betting on karma. I'm betting from yes, Triple G. I'm a fan of his, no doubt. I think he's gonna get knocked out. I think Triple G's gonna knock him out for some
That's
reason.
a bold
I don't
prediction.
know why, but I think he's gonna knock that boy out.
Let's hope.
Well, look at the 10th round. Real quick, look at the 10th round. I want you to pay attention. Look, the 10th round. Canelo was told in the 8th round, stop trying to go for the knockout, right? And Canelo was fighting more or less the same in the 10th round, and then he got caught with a big shot. And it could be that Canelo's having his way with this with Triple G in the fight, and maybe Triple G's this time is going to be a little bit better prepared. Again, man, look, I'm just going with a gutsy pick. You know what it is?
You know what it is? Recognized this time, in my opinion, there's not going to be no 17 drug tests on Triple G this time around. You know what I mean? And look, Triple G he's got some shares in the Zone, so if that fight happens, that's Canelo fighting on Triple G's network. I'm not saying that he owns the network, but he has some shares in. That's why
Canelo doesn't have.
Yeah, doesn't have all the protection he had. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Hold on.
So it's going to be more of an even fight
though with Callum Smith, because that's what I mentioned in the previous show. Canelo is not part of the Zone. Callum Smith in a way is.
Big money. But Bucho, what's the big money fight though? What's the big money fight?
that the zone is interested in
Golovkin,
having.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. But
Yeah.
you could have a rematch with Callum Smith, so that
You
By the
could.
way,
You could.
I wanted
So
to get
BA,
to
look,
Virtuoso.
this
Hold
was
on,
my
before
idea.
real quick, because I want to get to Virtuoso. He was supposed to get the next word in there. Go ahead, Virtuoso.
No, I mean, I just wanted to respond to what Recognize was saying earlier. I mean, yeah, I think Triple G is trying to trying to build like this counterpunch, so he's trying to catch Canelo with something huge. But I also want to point out that I think the power, if they were to fight again, right? I think the power dynamics has changed because, like, you know how Recognize says like, oh, Canelo gets all these advantages. I think that has much to do with Oscar De La Hoya than it is for Canelo. So now that he's no longer in his corner, I mean, it's a little bit different now. Are you sure they're gonna have the Adelaide board scorecard? You're gonna have those questionable scorecards against his opponents.
because Canelo, I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, the lawyer has connections. I mean, this guy's been in the sport for a long time, so I mean, who knows?
Well, that's what I said in
And
the
yo,
last episode
Virtuoso,
too.
The
I said that
only
in the last.
counterpunch that I see that
said
Golovkin
that
got,
it-
it's uppercut. That
But
uppercut is pretty sneaky. He's a slow guy with all the other punches. That uppercut will catch you when you're not looking.
All right, now hold on. Before
What
we
if-
continue, hold on.
Go
Before,
ahead,
because
Peter, go ahead.
because D wanted to say something, then I want to say something. Go ahead, D.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that it's a flip side to the whole the zone situation. EGG is old, on his way out the door, and to be perfectly honest, he's a goddamn liability. Them having to pay him $15 million a fight. Canelo's in the sport now, and I don't think the zone wants to just make this a one-off fight with Canelo. You know what I mean? They can make money off of him, way more money than they can make off of GGG at this point. So it really serves no motive to rob Canelo when he can come back and make you more money in another fight. Like, it serves no purpose. You got Murata out there, you got BJS, you got these Demetrius Andre, you got these people where you can make money off Canelo and he's going to sell. So robbing him in a fight with GGG, who's really a fucking liability at this point, nah, that shit don't make sense to me.
Yeah,
Well,
unless Oscar.
Well, it would guarantee if they did rob him. I'm not saying that's what they would do, but if they did rob him, Canelo, it would guarantee him to fight again under the zone.
Exactly.
But nobody.
I mean, there's no guarantee if he fights Triple G and beats him that he could fight again there. He might go fight on the PBC, might go fight on ESPN. But if he does get robbed and wants to, it would force his hand to fight there again. So I guess that's the only thing they can force him to fight again on the zone. Is that way, I guess.
Yeah, but
nobody was saying that he should get robbed.
That motherfucker don't come back and give him no more money.
Well,
yeah,
listen.
but all Oscar has to do is, grease the right hand. That's all. There's my revenge on you, but like.
Can I answer because people are misinterpreting what I said? I know I started this thread, so can I just answer, please? Look, no one's saying that Canelo's going to get robbed. You don't need to rob Canelo for Triple G. He could win on his own, like he did the first two fights.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that what if the zone gives them Canelo the same contract they gave Sergey? You get 2 more fights, but only if you lose.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's also the other thing is, like you said, it doesn't necessarily have to be an even playing field. They just get to give Triple G the benefit of the doubt, like they did with Canelo in the second fight. Now, to Bucho's point, it's true. Triple G is is the biggest fight, but again, they could also do a rematch. Like he said, they could do the rematch with Callum Smith. And look, Canelo at this point, even if he loses, he's still the biggest star in boxing. It's not going to decrease his profile all that much. So they could probably sacrifice that. I mean, we're just talking theoretically here. Also, the other thing is with the Callum Smith fight, if that happens, was it Brian that said that? Anyway, I lost my train of thought here with that. But yeah, man, I mean, look, listen, that fight could definitely do a lot of numbers. And with Canelo, I remember what I was going to say, because Brian was talking about greasing the hand and all that, the proper hand. It's true, man. De La Hoya is no longer with Canelo. Now, if you're going to do some behind-the-scenes shenanigans, some shadow play, you're going to know how to do it. I don't know if Canelo has the right type of people that know how to do this type of thing. This type of politics, behind the scenes, Washington Avenue type thing. It takes a good crook to be able to do that. And I don't know if Canelo has anybody on his team or if he knows how to do it. Obviously, he's not going to do it himself. Otherwise, that leaves
They
a
don't
trail.
speak English, man. Like, what the fuck are you gonna communicate?
Yo quiero que you give me a fight and I win, okay? You give me that's not going to work out, man.
You best believe, man. You best believe that Mexicans, if you give an opportunity, they'll steal the shirt off your back.
Oh, that's a great way to represent us there, Gonzalo. Nice going there. Yeah, very good, man.
And when it comes between Canelo and Golden Boy, Canelo has the power in Vegas because he has the money. The money's going to follow Canelo, not Golden Boy. You know, that's how Vegas is. When Floyd ran that town, I don't know if the guys who ever went into the the hotel down there in MGM, yeah, exactly, MGM, and it was just wall to wall Floyd shit. What his belt is full size. In fact, he threw a temper tantrum there that day. He went in and they had taken it all down and then replaced it with Canelo shit. Guess he didn't like that, but yeah, it's the one who's pulling in the money.
Yeah, man, that's true, man. That's true. Now listen,
that MGM Grand that's the house that Tyson built, man. That's what they got to remember.
Yeah, it's true, man. They got to give him his respect. Okay, John Gonzalez is not helping the scene here. He says he donated for the super chat. He says what Gonzalo says is true. I do that. Well, now that's not because you're Mexican, John. That's because you're a fucking scumbag, man. All right, I don't appreciate that. Shout out to John Gonzalez. Now, before we go, because I gotta go. It's pretty late here. I got a APAC meeting tomorrow. I just wanted to briefly mention the Carlos Gongara upset over Ali Akhmedov. Because going in, I was more excited for that fight than the main event. Obviously, on paper, that was going to be the best fight. And this guy, Gongora, we knew he could punch, but I didn't know he had the wherewithal to stand in front of the guy of Akhmedov and take his shots. What did you guys think about that fight? That was a good fight.
That was a great fight, man. I got that wrong. I was doing commentary on that fight, and I picked Ali Akhmedov to win that, but Gongora's got a hell of a chin, man, and he's got, like I said, he didn't get frustrated or impatient in that fight. He just kept fighting his game, and Ali was winning that fight, to tell you the truth, bro. Ali Akhmedov was winning that fight. Had he went the distance, I believe he would have won on the cards, but those two uppercuts was brutal, man. The first one put him down, then that second one just put him out of there, bro.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, Gongara, Akhmedov came out fast, a little too antsy to get that knockout, and he was still strong enough to remain there to like the very latter part of the fight. But that guy, throughout the course of the fight, he was landing a sneaky punch here and there that was very sharp. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know, Eric Morales or maybe Mayweather. Very quick and piercing through the guard, landing these street rights that were able to like rock the other guy's head back here and there. But by the end, the other guy got tired and got knocked the fuck out. Mm-hmm. Why? Yeah. Because the guy was able to put up a game plan. And the one guy didn't have the right strategy. He came out too strong.
He was throwing very hard punches, and he was kind of tense. And I mentioned that on Discord. He reminded me of David Lemieux, how he throws these big ass shots. He's always tense, and that fucking tires you later on if you don't get the guy out. So
he just looked like he was anxious. He just looked like he wanted to impress, go for the knockout, and he tried. He tried too hard early on.
And you can't blame that guy because he did drop that Gorgora.
Gorgora,
he dropped him multiple times. So,
they should make Gorgora versus
90 seconds.
Sorry, Gonzalo, I didn't hear that. They should make who against who?
Gorgora against Fonfara. That sounds crazy, no?
Yeah, because they're not in the same. Fonfara's.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Fonfara's retired, man. Fonfara's retired. And he used to be
BDA, can I say, after tonight's performance, I think, first off, Triple G looks fresher than I thought he was going to look. Uh-huh. I wouldn't be surprised now. I wouldn't be so against him fighting Charlo. Before I was thinking, I don't know, but right now, if that was the next fight, I'd still put my money on G.
I always wanted that
Charlo to be able to handle the power.
Yeah, I always wanted that
that's fight I wanted to see too.
Yeah, that Charlo Triple G fight, even after Triple G, like I said, when Charlo handled Derevchenko, I said, no, fuck it, make Triple G Charlo. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Charlo can handle that ramrod jab. Yeah. When you go to the ramrod, you better lube your ass up because it's going to go there. So
they got very similar body types between Charlo and Triple G. If you look at their bodies, that's swimmer build, and they both got good jabs.
Yeah.
PDA, what's up? What's up? Did you see the Lomachenko video?
Which video?
The video where him bitching and moaning about that fight, talking about judges being bribed and all this kind of silly shit.
Oh yeah, I did see that. He said he used the B word. And we're not talking about one curse word. He's the
Well,
primary one.
he was talking about that one out of control scorecard, which, I mean, honestly, if you step back and just be honest, we're talking about that one card, which was everybody said was retarded.
What was it?
Oh, what's with this?
There was one card. It was one card. He lost every round. It was absurd. So what else can you say? How can you look at this woman who's been a professional judge for 26 fucking years and say, other than what else can you say other than a bribe?
Jimmy, why do you hate
not just the judges, but the referee? I mean, Loma in the 10th round hit Lopez with the body shot, had him in a fetal position on the ropes, and the referee stepped in and protected Lopez.
Hey,
He
Jimmy,
had him
why
in
do
the
you
fetal position with beat
Jimmy,
down.
why do you hate Jimmy? Why do you hate women, man? Jimmy, why do you hate women?
Well, because most of them press charges, but that's beside the point. But listen,
no, wait a minute. No. We're not going to do that.
Just fucking around.
Listen, if I can just give you my take. Yeah, if I just can give you my take, because you guys are getting a little too hot under the collar here, you're going to get us shut down. So before we go, because it's already 12 p.m. here, whatever happens in the ring, man, okay, if you want to complain, but I'm of the old school that you should just stay silent and say, you know what, catch you on the next one, man. Because I mean, everybody always complains. Yeah, I know, but that doesn't necessarily make it right. But listen, if Lopez wants to put this to bed, man, let's get a rematch in there, man. The first fight was competitive.
He's begging for the 135 rematch, and he says that Lopez did know that he was injured, and he knew that going into the fight that he had a bad shoulder. So whatever. I hate excuses. He should have said that shit on the down low. But again, addressing that card, if I was a fighter and someone said, "How do you explain that with her years of fighting?" How else do you explain that?
That's a good. Well, yeah. Listen, but that's boxing, man. That's boxing. That's boxing. Well, hold on a second, fellas. Hold on. We gotta listen, fellas. It's 11. Like I said before, 11:13 p.m. I gotta go, man. I got an APAC meeting tomorrow.
We'll save this topic for another show.
Exactly. We gotta milk this.
Yeah,
I
will reverse the show on Lomachenko in his comments, and then we can have a.
Even though I scored it a draw the second time I watched it.
Ah, jeez. All right, listen.
I don't think
we gotta go.
one.
All right, we gotta go.
I scored it a draw too. I watched it twice. I scored a draw both times.
Oh boy.
7-5 either way.
7-5. If I was to give him 7-5 to somebody, there was the second round there. It was very tight. I gave it to Loma, but I could have given it to Teofimo. So I could see it 7-5 to Teofimo, but I give it a draw. So
you wouldn't see all rounds for Loma.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. Come on.
Yeah,
but we'll save the stuff for another.
Well, anyways,
all right,
guys.
All right, gentlemen, you guys all be safe. Thanks for having me on.
All right, fellas, stay on the call. Fellas, stay on the call. All right, all right. Jimmy just left, but Jimmy, if you're hearing, you gotta come back. I gotta iron some things out for the next shows. But all right, everybody in the Streamyard, thank you for calling in. Everybody on the phone lines as well, really appreciate it. Let me just read a couple of super chats here real quick from everybody: Chris K, Wesley M, Virtuoso, John Gonzalez, D, and John Gonzalez again. Thank you, fellas, for your contributions. Really appreciate it, and everybody in the chat room as well. I gotta go. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Great show. Hopefully you guys enjoy the fights tomorrow, and we'll catch you on the next one, fellas. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.